Yo, what's up YouTube, man? It's your boy Action Jackson, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over the undrafted free agents that Dallas Cowboys have signed so far. So before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys would like the video, subscribe if you're new, comment and share my video with anyone who you think will enjoy my content, man. So before we even hop into it, and I cover these some of these undrafted free agents, man, I'm not going to be super in love with some of these guys because I understand that some of them are not going to make the roster. Some of them are just not going to pan out in the league. It is what it is, because a lot of times with Dallas Cowboys, what we do, just as an organization and a fan base, will hype up a lot of these undrafted free agents, and we kind of have to take a step back and look at that some of them are undrafted for a reason. We hope that everybody who comes in that is an undrafted free agent can come play in the league somewhere, and hopefully most of them can even fit on the active roster and be that much of a difference maker for us, because there's still people in the league that go undrafted and they still have remarkable careers. Just think about Antonio Gates, you think about Tony Romo, you think about Kurt Warner, many guys like that. Those are some just UDFAs that turned out to be really great and just Hall of Famers, some of them. And but for the most part, a lot of those guys, a lot of those undrafted free agents, they just don't make it in the league. So the first UDFA I'm going to go over is us signing Hunter Luepke, really dope fullback out of the College of North Dakota State. If you guys are big in the Cowboys community, you guys follow your guy Knicks and also Fitz the Kings. Those are two guys that have been worldwide, and everyone else as well. Everyone else has been following the Hunter Luepke train. Some of us were hoping to sign him, like draft him in the draft, but he went undrafted, of course, which we figured was going to happen. But also I've seen a lot of mocks where he would go round 7, round 6. But we ended up getting lucky, getting him at a decent price or whatever. So he was a 4-year starter out of North Dakota State, and I'm looking at his stats right now. He had 619 yards rushing. He got 6.3. He averaged 6.3 yards a carry. He had 9 touchdowns, and then he also contributes in the passing game with 14 catches, 196 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's been averaging almost close to 700, 800 yards throughout his college career from his junior to senior year. This is a do-it-all line fullback. They're calling him baby Kyle Juszczyk, and if he can turn out to be a Kyle Juszczyk, he's going to be around in this league for a very, very long time. And if we're able to get that, what he did out of North Dakota State, we're able to utilize that on our team, which would be really great, because in the West Coast scheme, they do use fullbacks. And like I said, if we can use Hunter Luepke anywhere to what he was doing at North Dakota State, and if his ceiling is Kyle Juszczyk, I would love to have a Kyle like Juszczyk on our team. I can't think of another fullback right now. Patrick Card out of Baltimore. If we can get anybody like that on our team, just a fullback that can lead the way, block down the goal line, so we don't have to use an offensive lineman. I don't mind using an offensive lineman at fullback at times, but it would be cool if we had a traditional fullback and a fullback that can do it all. I think that would be really great for our offense, and just another weapon that Dak Prescott can potentially use. We can have him on screen routes. Probably, if he works on his route running a little bit, we probably get him on mismatches on linebackers. He might just get wide open out of the backfield. He can do a lot of different things. So that's just one already that we got. We also got an outside linebacker, Tyrus Wheat out of Mississippi State. Outside linebacker. It's a deal that includes a $20,000 signing bonus plus $185 guaranteed. So I think the Dallas Cowboys are pretty much interested in this guy. And, just based off the contract that they did give him, they gave him a $20,000 signing bonus and $185,000 that's guaranteed. I didn't get much of the other details on some of the other undrafted free agents that we did get. But we got Tyrus Wheat, and just looking at his stats right now, he was a linebacker. It seemed like he was a do-it-all linebacker who went out in coverage. Another linebacker who rushed the passer as well. He was a three-year player. His freshman year, he had 5 sacks. He had a interception. He had 2 fumble recoveries. He forced 2 fumbles. He had 30 tackles in his freshman year. Then if you look at it in his second year, he had 9 tackles for loss. He had 46 total tackles. He had 19 solo tackles. He had 6 sacks. He had 1 interception. He forced 1 fumble. He broke up 1 pass, and he recovered 1 fumble. And then his last year at Mississippi, he had 10.5 tackles for loss. He had 25 solo tackles. He had 6 sacks again. He had pick. He got, he recovered 2 fumbles, and he passed, and he broke up 2 passes. Sounds like a solid defensive player for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know where he potentially might can fit on the Cowboys, because we have a lot of pass rushes and everything like that. Hopefully this is probably just a developmental guy that we keep on the practice squad somehow, and he can stay around, for us. So we got out of Florida A&M, HBCU, Isaiah Land, and he's 6'4". He's pretty nice height. Edge rusher. He stepped onto the scene his very last year coming out of Florida A&M. He caused 7 sacks. He caused 1 forced fumble. He had 19 solo tackles, 22 solo tackles in total. Solid player for Florida A&M. Just project again. That's what you get with a lot of these undrafted free agents. You're going to get a lot of projects, a lot of we'll sees, a lot of, if we put you in the right system, we get you the right developmental coaching, you could potentially be something in the league. So definitely somebody to look out for. He has, everyone, mostly for the people that love, most of the people in the Dallas Cowboys community, when they find out, they really love this signing. Then we got a Kansas offensive tackle, Earl Bostic Jr. He has $220,000 guaranteed. He was a tight end, then formally kicked into offensive tackle. So they're, banking on the athletic upside and everything like that. Dallas Cowboys, they got Tennessee tight end Princeton Fant, cousins of Seahawks, tight end Noah Fant. So, same thing, upside. Hopefully that he can possibly be a Sean McEwen replacement potentially down the line for that. So we'll see what Princeton Font turns out to be. But another receiver I like that we did get and I was eyeing throughout the draft was Jalen Moreno-Cropper out of Fresno State. He's a really nice receiver, explosive too. Foot. This is definitely somebody that is definitely going to push the wide receiver room. Definitely someone that's going to push the wide receiver room. Definitely going to push Jalen Tolbert and everybody that's close on that bubble on the roster. Jalen Tolbert's not really on the bubble, but if he doesn't do anything this year, he definitely is a potential somebody who can either get traded or we'll end up looking out. But his sophomore year, he had 520 yards. He averaged 14.1 yards a catch with 5 touchdowns. They also utilized him also on jet sweeps and getting him the ball as quickly as possible. His junior year, he had 899 yards. He had 11 touchdowns. He had 76 yards rushing. He averaged 4 yards a carry, and he had 2 touchdowns. And his senior year, his last year at Fresno State, he got 1,093 yards, averaged 13 yards a catch, 5 touchdowns, 19 yards rushing, 2.7 yards average. So he's a do-it-all wide receiver. You can put him anywhere, inside, outside. He's mostly going to be a boundary type of receiver. You want to put him on the outside, he's going to make a play. Or really, he definitely, so if you just look at his stats off rip, and then you also got to look at his film, he definitely does get better throughout each year. So that's why he's accepting the coaching, he's listening, he's working on his craft and everything like that. So I think Jalen Moreno-Cropper is going to be a solid player for us. If we utilize him right and we give him the right looks and everything like that, I definitely think that this is definitely a receiver who may be able to crack the roster. If he doesn't, I think he definitely gets swooped off of the practice squad, because I can definitely see another team trying to pick him up. Maybe a team like, maybe Baltimore or, San Francisco, because he is from the California area. So Raiders, so if he doesn't pan out and he doesn't stay on the Cowboys, I can definitely see him getting signed by somebody else. But it's going to be hard also for him to make the roster. Undrafted free agents is really tough for them in the league, because the only good thing about being an undrafted free agent is that you do get to pick where you want to go. but it's also you're fighting to the death every single time. You can never have a sick day. You can never come in sluggish. You have to come in and give it your all. And I think Jalen Moreno is going to be able to do that. And let's see if he pans out with this. And I think if he was to pan out and be on our team, this would be a really nice addition for the Dallas Cowboys. And I would love that if he does be able to pan out. And him being your wide receiver 4 or 5 now, and him potentially maybe being your wide receiver 3. Because if you look at it right now with your wide receiver room, you have CeeDee Lamb, who's going to be around for a long time. Hopefully, the Dallas Cowboys take care of him right. Then you also got to look at Brandon Cooks, who you did restructure his deal, but it's up to the Cowboys on what they want to do. We're not on the mercy of his contract, so we can either, if he pans out for us, Brandon Cooks is going to be on the roster for a little bit longer. If we don't really think Brandon Cooks is going to stay here long term, we're possibly going to go out and go get another receiver for him, or maybe we just might have replacements on the roster. I know the Dallas Cowboys, with them not drafting a receiver really that high in the draft, I think they're really saying that they're going to live in the state of impossibles. They're going to see, they're going to really bank on Michael Gallup having a resurgence of a career. Same thing with Jalen Tolbert. They're going to give Jalen Tolbert a lot of opportunities. So, Brandon Cooks is already a veteran in this league. You got same thing with CeeDee Lamb. He's going to be easily wide receiver number 1. So Jalen Cropper, at the end of the day, is going to have his work cut out for him. Temple wide receiver Jose Bardman, solid. Oregon offensive line, TJ Bass. Everyone has been raving about him as well. PFF said that he only allowed, I think he hasn't allowed a sack at all in college, or if he did allow a sack, it was only 1. He allowed barely any sacks. And they're saying that he's going to make the transition into have him listed as a guard. He did play tackle in Oregon, but 6'4", he weighs 317 pounds. He has 32-inch arms. He had 9.25 hand. With the NFL, they're saying that he has a good frame. They're seeing him as a guard. He has a broad frame. He has good power. He has below average athleticism. He has a lack of arm strength. And they're saying some of his strengths are his experience at left tackle should help him his pass pro at guard. He keeps hands cocked and ready in pass sets, makes first contact, count on combo blocks, climbs to second level with adequate timing and angles, use inside hands and accelerating feet to create movement, stays after his work and finishes with some grit. And for his weakness, they're saying his size. They said he could have trouble redirecting edge pressure when beaten, has trouble getting hands reset when the defender gets into him, and slow reaction time on first lateral steps as a run blocker, and upright in space and struggles adjusting to movement. All things I feel like are coachable. The weaknesses that he does, of course, you can't do nothing with size. He's 6'4". I think that's a sweet spot, honestly, as a guard. But I think that with the redirecting, working on his hands, slow reaction time, I think that's all coachable with our coaching staff. And also he works with Duke Mayweather. I definitely think he's going to coach up our offensive line as well, and we're going to be just fine really at that position. And then Liberty outside linebacker Darrell Johnson, same thing, a lot of hype coming out of the Dallas Cowboys community. Solid defender, high motor, nice sack production, everything like that. So yeah, man, that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. Bye.